Welcome to Light It Up with Ryan Lee, your number one source for all things landscape lighting. From lighting design, install, sales, and marketing, we discuss everything you need to know to start and grow a successful landscape lighting business.
What is up? What is up? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the second episode of Light It Up here on Turfs Up Radio. My name is Ryan Lee. I am so excited to be here with you guys today. Coming up, we're going to have a great show. We had the premiere last week, and I'm not going to say it went off without a hitch, but it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. The time went by so quick. And, if you missed it, I shared a little bit about my backstory, about how I was able to be part of starting, growing, and eventually selling a multi-million-dollar landscape lighting company, which is pretty cool to think about, actually, because who would have thought that you could build a multi-million-dollar landscape lighting company when I didn't even know what landscape lighting was growing up. You know what I mean? Not like I went to school for it. Not like I studied hard for it or really wanted to be that. But today, guys, we got a great show coming up. I'm going to tell you here in a second about the story about why I'm actually going to have to change the name. I'm going to have to change the name of this show. It's only the second week. It's only the second show, and I got to change the name. What the heck is going on? Oh, my goodness. So I'm going to tell you that story because it's important to hear, I think. It's a little bit embarrassing, but I'm going to have to tell you that. But listen, guys, today we got a sweet show. I got a good friend of mine coming on, Ryan Jaso. Okay, he's the owner of Lighting Boss, and I am so excited to have him on. We're doing a lot of good things together, and this guy knows his stuff, and I'm excited to have him on. So make sure you stick around. He's coming up in just a few minutes, and he's my first guest. You know, somebody's got to be the first guest. Someone's got to be the guinea pig, and he was not only willing, but he was ready to do it. He's ready to back me up, so I'm excited to have him on, and it's going to be really, really cool. He's my first guest. Also, want to give a shout out to the Motel Pines. I had a little bit of a glitch last week. I'm here live on Turfs Up Radio, and no problems there because we got all the licenses for music and everything. But I'm also live on YouTube at Landscape Lighting Secrets. I'm also live on Facebook at Ryan Lee Live. And so I'm broadcasting there, and I played some AC/DC. I played some Weezer, and I got shut down. Guys. About halfway through, I noticed like there's no one on. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And someone messaged me like, hey, why'd you take your post down? Why'd you turn off comments? I can't get on there. I start looking into it. It's like, oh, okay. That's how they want. You want to play like that? Okay. They shut me down. Copyright infringement, just some minor infractions with the law. So I'm going to request from you guys, if you're listening to this or watching, right? If you are an artist, you're a musician, or you know somebody, hook me up. Okay. Today, I'm going to be playing some music from the Motel Pines. It's a friend of mine who's actually got his own he's been in the landscape lighting business or the landscape lighting industry for a while now. He actually has his own business. He's a lighting rep, all these different things. So it's kind of cool because I get to play some of his music. He's told me it's okay, but we're going to find out if the Facebook police or the YouTube police shut me down. But he told me it's okay. So I'm like, you know what? We're doing this. So I'm looking for some more music that I can play on here. But today I'm really grateful for him for allowing me to play some music. So you're going to notice some intros and outros. And then later on, we're going to have the Motel Pines debut here on Light It Up. And so stick around for that. Now, I want to remind you guys, if you are wanting to learn more for free, if you want some free access to some stuff that we talk about, I've got a group. It's called Landscape Lighting Mastermind on Facebook, and it's a free group. And I'm really trying to build this to be the best Facebook group out there. It's not just a place for anyone to join. Okay. You've got to be involved in the lighting industry. So like no homeowners. So you can't be just a homeowner. I mean, you can own a house, you can own a home and own a lighting business, but we're trying to do this because I'm trying to elevate and educate the lighting industry, right? So go search for that, and I'll let you in. And then also on YouTube, I'm trying to build my subscription base to 100, and I'm at like 70 something. So if you guys have not, go and subscribe now to Landscape Lighting Secrets, where I need to get to 100. So I'm getting close, which is pretty cool because I only had 2 subscribers I only had 2 subscribers, and I think I was 1 or 2 of them. So help me out. Help me out. And while you're there, subscribe to the Motel Pines because they only have, I think, 3 subscribers, and we're trying to get them to 10 within 24 hours. If not, there's some type of consequence. I don't know what it is, but there could be. So, and by the way, guys, if you are on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you have any questions for myself or my special guest, Ryan Jaso, go ahead and put them in the comments because we'll answer those live. So whatever questions you have for the lighting boss, put them in there and we'll be sure to answer those questions live on the air, which will be kind of cool. So, love to be able to engage with you on there. Now, the other thing is I need to change the name. So let me tell you the story around this. So when I decided, this partnership came about with Turfs Up Radio, I was super excited and I couldn't wait to do it. And because of that excitement, I kind of forgot to think. Okay. And this is kind of an embarrassing story. So bear with me here. But, I was like, yeah, I would love to be. They've got a lot of really good experts on here, but no one that really specializes in landscape lighting on a weekly basis. Right. And so I was like, you know what? I'd love to do it. So we decided to do it. And I was like, I'll call it Light It Up. I thought, I don't know where that name came from, but someone may have said it or something like that. I don't remember, but it sounded really good and catchy. So I was like, yeah, I'll do Light It Up. Well, then after we decided and agreed that we'd move forward, they're like, hey, you can actually do your own podcast as well and upload the show as a podcast. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That would be sweet, But I was so busy just thinking about it and putting stuff together and everything. I was like, I'm not going to worry. I don't want to get overwhelmed. So I'm not going to worry about the podcast section right now. So fast forward to last week. Last week, I do the show live, super excited, go to upload the show, Light It Up. I upload the show, everything's good. And then I want to go search. It's like, hey, it's up here. It's on Amazon. It's on Apple Podcasts, all these places. So I go to search for it. Well, when I search, and if you guys go do this, you'll see the same thing. You search for Light It Up. I see like 4 or 5 podcasts called Light It Up. And I'm like, uh-oh, that might be a problem. But one of them was the Milwaukee Bucks, like Milwaukee Bucks basketball team. I'm like, the Milwaukee Bucks basketball team has a podcast called Light It Up? Really? Like, come on. Get out of here. So I didn't even care about that. I was like, you know what? Screw the Milwaukee Bucks. They used to be a terrible team anyway. I remember going to the Jazz games growing up in Utah and like playing junior Jazz, you'd always get like 1 free game to be able to go to. And it was always the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm like, dude, you can't give us the Bulls. You can't give us someone who's legit. Of course, no. They give us the Milwaukee Bucks, which is the worst team in the league, even worse than the Jazz, believe it or not, at the time. So we were like sitting like top row. Anyway, that's what I think of the Milwaukee Bucks, but I guess they got some good players now or whatever. But the other podcast that really kind of sparked my eye was Light It Up, and it was an engineer. And I didn't know, I didn't, the name didn't ring a bell. His name is Tom Garber, but I just saw that and I didn't really think much of it. And he's an engineer, whatnot. And then a few days later, I'm thinking, man, I should probably change the name. Like I don't want to compete with other people or take away or like smash what they're trying to do, anything like that. So I had that thought going on. And then I had a conversation with Andy Thomas. He's the president of AOLP. And I was talking to him about coming on the show and he's going to be on. He's going to be on in like 2 weeks. So put that in your calendars. He's going to be here with me live in the Landscape Lighting Secret Studio. What do you guys think of that? If you're watching me online, what do you think of the Landscape Lighting Secret Studio for Light It Up on Turfs Up Radio? I think it's pretty cool. But I was talking to Andy, and he's like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. He's like, in fact, I just did a podcast with Tom Garber. And I was like, Tom Garber, that name sounds so familiar. What is a Tom Garber? And I was like, oh, really? So I get off the phone and I go and look, and sure enough, this is the same Tom Garber. Okay. And he's the CEO of Emery Allen, which is a light bulb manufacturer. And I was like, oh man, this is not good. This is not good. So I got his contact information and I get a hold of him. I call him up, and luckily he is like the nicest guy. Okay. And if you don't, like, seriously, go search for Light It Up and subscribe to his podcast because he's got a handful of episodes out. They stopped doing them during COVID last year, but they're sparking back up. So he's got a really good show. He's an engineer, the CEO of Emery Allen, and he's interviewing other lighting professionals. And we have different angles on what we're doing, right? So but I called him and I said, man, I just gotta, my introduction was like, hey, this is Ryan Lee. I decided to start a radio show and podcast called Light It Up. It's like, how awkward is that? Right. I had to like confess my sins to him. And I was just like, man, I just want to let you know, I'm not trying to like steal your thunder or anything like that. But I want to introduce myself, see if you're planning on still doing it and stuff like that. So he's rocking and rolling. So I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I did this. But it was super awkward and super embarrassing. So who doesn't research their name and see if it's like already taken, right? Well, this guy. So yeah, highly recommend you guys don't get so excited and overwhelmed by stuff that you don't pause to think. That would be my tip of the week. No, but later on I do have an actual lighting tip of the week. So stick around. That's going to come up toward the end of the show. But can you believe it, guys? So I have to change the name, and I'm working right now on the graphics, and I'm working on the new intro. Dun, 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 you know, but it's, I'm going to change it. So I'm going to reveal the name. Are you ready for this? I'm going to be calling the new show. It's changing from, geez, I forgot the old name. Light It Up, changing from Light It Up to Lighting for Profits. So let me know what you think of the name Lighting for Profits. The reason I decided to call it that is because it's about lighting and it's about profits. So I'm big on helping people make more money so that they can invest back into their business and become a business owner and not be stuck as a business operator. And I found through my years of doing this, it was a lot easier to run a business. The bigger I got, the more money I made. So that's my goal, is to give back to the community that helped me so much. And that's why I'm here on Turfs Up Radio. So guys, the time at the tone is 5:12 Eastern. Beep. So that's 3:12 my time, 4:12 Central, and 2:12 on the West Coast. So guys, I am really excited about this show. Again, we got Ryan Jaso coming up here in a minute. We've got music from the Motel Pines. Yes, you know what? Someone just mentioned Chris War from New York, bagpipe intro music. I will take that, dude. So I know you're a bagpipe guy. So actually go ahead and send me a link or whatever it is, because that's what I really need right now, is music that I'm able to play without getting shut down. Okay. That's really what I need in life right now. Yeah, I'm excited, you guys. I'm excited for today's show. You know, it's important to diversify. You know, I tend to stick around the groups that I know and feel comfortable with, but it's important to build good relationships. And no matter what you're doing, if you have a landscape business, or if you have a landscape lighting business, or whatever you do, it's important to build relationships around you, because you never know who you're going to be able to help, and you never know who's going to be able to help you, right? We're always growing. We're always learning. And so I encourage you guys to reach out and be more proactive. I know that's one of my regrets when I owned my landscape lighting business. I just had my head down and was focused almost too much, where I didn't reach out, I didn't network. And so I don't know a lot of people in this industry like some of these other guys do. And right now I'm like, man, sure would be nice to know more people. You know what I mean? So reach out and get outside your comfort zone, because there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help and have tremendous value. I mean, there's a lot of lighting guys out here that are amazing designers, and they don't mind sharing their secrets. Okay. Yeah. I make you pay for my secrets. Okay. Big deal. But there's a lot of guys, that designers, installers, these technicians, they can do stuff that are just like magic. Right. So reach out to these guys, be part of these communities. Because it's so important to build those relationships, get good relationships with manufacturers and distributors and these types of people. Surround yourself with people that are also successful, and hopefully more successful than you, because they're going to pull you up, right? They're going to help you get to where they're at. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about when we come back from break. So make sure you guys stick around. We got Ryan Jaso coming up in just a few minutes. And then we've got, like I said, music from the Motel Pines. Listen to this music, guys. It's really, really good. And they only have 3 subscribers. So we're trying to get them to 10 subscribers. If you guys will go to YouTube and search the Motel Pines, subscribe, even if just for 24 hours, because that's what we're trying to do, is get them to 10 subscribers. But literally, they have really good music. I mean, listen to this stuff. So listen, guys, we're going to take a really quick break. I mean, this is like the shortest break ever. And then when we come back, we're going to be live with the lighting boss, Ryan Jaso. So stick around, and we will be right back. All right.
Hey, landscape pros, are you tired of digging through rocks and roots and breaking shovels in the process? Then it's time you checked out the Geo Ripper 616. It's a landscaper's dream with the Makita 6 Series 2-cycle engine producing over 4 horsepower of raw performance. The 616 digs deep in up to 16 inches of the toughest soils. Lighting, landscape, and irrigation contractors already love this improved lightweight trencher with its ability to get in and get out faster, easier, and with less ground disturbance. And you will too. This redesigned Geo Ripper 616 comes with 2 heavy-duty digging chains and a whole mess of helpful extras. To learn more about the Geo Ripper and how it can help you out in the field, visit georipper.com today.
Hey everybody, this is Hecubus from the Nightcap. I'm just sitting here relaxing within the vault with my friends and a tasty, tasty pint. You should stop by and listen in sometime. I'm here every Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, live only on Turf's Up Radio. Your industry, your station.
Do you hear that? It's quiet. No sounds of anger, attempts to throw a phone or computer out the window, or annoyance trying to change your business to make it fit into a software program. Crew Control just works. It's easy to do your scheduling. You can be up and running in less than a day. It's got everything you need and nothing you don't. Give it a try for yourself with our 2-week free trial. crewcontrol.com. That's crewcontrol.com.
All right, guys, welcome back to Light It Up. It's the last episode of Light It Up, even though it's the second episode of Light It Up. And we're changing the name next week, so don't get confused. But, guys, I want to thank Motel Pines for the music here. I think it's pretty awesome. And then I want to welcome the lighting boss himself, Mr. Ryan Jaso. How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me, pal. Appreciate this. I just subscribed, so I got us to 4.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I'm pumped to be introed with a Geo Ripper commercial. Those things are the best.
That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, we can do whatever we want. If you want to make this about Geo Ripper, we can talk about them for 30 minutes too.
Yeah, my last audio training here, I think some guys were carving up my backyard, putting our logo in with the Geo Ripper. I'll get some pictures for everyone.
Is that right? That's awesome. So welcome to the show, man. I'm really grateful because at some point I needed to have my first guest, and you are the lucky one.
I feel pretty honored. I'm not going to lie. This is my first podcast. I've never done this before. With how many webinars we've done and how many live events, I've never done a podcast. So this is really cool. Like, this whole experience is cool to be a part of, to hear the music, the commercials, man. Whatever's happening on Turf's Up Radio is my first experience with it, but I dig it.
That's cool. Well, you dig it because you do the Dig It Challenge from Geo Ripper. They have the Dig It Challenge. So
yeah, totally. I'm all over that.
That's awesome. No, it's really cool. I mean, this is only my second time doing it as well with Turf's Up Radio, and it's pretty awesome, to be honest with you. I'm grateful for the opportunity to do it with them because they've got a lot of really good relationships. They got a lot of stuff set up that it would take me a long time to do. So it's pretty awesome. And honestly, it's your first time being on a podcast. Well, this is a live podcast. There's not a lot of other live podcasts. Most people record it, and then if you screw up, you just edit that out and redo it. Whereas if you screw up right now, I mean, the world is watching, or at least 4 people are.
There's a lot of pressure.
There's no going back now, man.
I'm going to keep the F-bombs. I already promise you I'm going to keep the F-bombs to a limit.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I think we might be able to get away with 1 or 2, but I don't even have like an edit button. So,
I thought we talked about those buttons you can just press.
I know.
Don't you have a synthesizer? That's the one. That's the one I was looking for.
All right. So I guess I want to just get started. And, I'm not very good at introductions. I should probably be like, here's the stats of Ryan Jaso, whatever. But maybe I'll just let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got in the industry. How did we meet? Give us your background a little bit.
Oh, I got to think about how we met. First of all, man, that'd be awesome if somebody just knew my stats. That's how you know. That's how you know you've made it. When
Yeah.
somebody just starts ripping it off and say, "Hey, this guy's done this and this and this." Apparently, I have a ways to go. But shoot, man, how did I feel like I saw you. Now I even have to think through this. I don't recall exactly how we met. I simply recall seeing some of the information that you were putting online and being intrigued by it because it was like my thoughts were coming from somebody else's mouth, and we don't agree on everything. And I think that that's what makes our relationship good and symbiotic, because that's no fun if you just agree on everything. But overall, the message that I've been trying to get out there to our clientele is very similar to what you've been doing and what you've been preaching. And the simple fact is that because of my company and what I do, I don't have the time to put into training and helping these guys grow that you do. And I think it's awesome that we share so many of the same ideas about growth, about profits. And I know that's what attracted me to you to begin with, not to mention that beautiful head of hair of yours, which is amazing. I can't even look at you in the eye.
I noticed you had a hat on today.
Yeah, well, one, I'm getting a little scruffy up there, and two, I guess this is just some extra advertising for whatever hat I'm wearing. Oh, brilliance. Okay, I love the brilliance, guys. So this works out nicely.
I've got a Brilliance hat. It looks just like that around here somewhere. I probably need to do a better job of wearing some swag. I mean, like North Face, what does it have to do with lighting? And why am I paying to advertise North Face? But yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't figure they were
Lighting.
paying you a dime.
No, I think I pay them $30 a t-shirt or something,
Yeah. Okay, we'll work on that. I'm sorry I didn't wear my Landscape Lighting Secrets shirt. I love those, by the way. That's like the most comfortable shirt I've ever worn.
Oh, sweet. Good to hear.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, so tell me, I guess that's kind of how we met. What got you into the industry? How come you're so passionate about landscape lighting? Because we do share a lot of the same philosophies and helping build people up and stuff like that. But yeah, tell me a little bit about. I know a little bit, but I need to know some more too. So tell us why you're here and how you're here.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. We both got into the industry in very different ways. I guess I was working for my father in 2007, 2008, um, selling communication cable. I know it's sexy and exciting stuff. But I guess I was looking for something more. I wasn't sure what that more was. So I bought a house, and I just started pouring all my extra time into the house, whether it was doing tile or drywall. This was kind of right before the crash, so I couldn't have bought my house at the worst time. Um, but but I learned so much from putting hundreds of hours into this house. First of all, I learned that I should never do tile or drywall ever again. And honestly, I learned that I didn't know the first damn thing about landscape lighting because I put in my own landscape lighting system at the house, and it was the biggest POS that you could ever possibly imagine. Just the cheapest fixtures, the cheapest transformer ever, because I didn't know any better. Um, and I didn't have any money to hire a professional. Now, of course, I paid for that years and years later. How does that saying go? If you think hiring a pro is expensive, try hiring an amateur. And
Absolutely.
that's what I did. I hired an amateur by doing it myself, and spent hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars fixing those mistakes over the years. But the one thing that I had in my system that was really good was the wiring. Because of the background, my father was in the wiring industry for 30 something years. I was able to get my hands on some really good lighting cable at a really good price. And the price was so good that I started taking it and calling lighting contractors and getting them to buy it. So I'm in the distribution business. There are a couple of there are a couple of segments of my business, but my primarily one is distribution. And for 3 or 4 years, all we did was sell wire. And we got to the point where after 2 years, I was selling $1 million a year of just landscape lighting cable. That's it. That was all that I sold. And LED threw a bit of a wrench into that, because I don't know how many people on this listening go back to the days of halogen. But, with halogen, you could only stick a couple of halogen lamps on a run. Nowadays you can put 10, 20 LEDs on a run. But, once I saw what LED was doing, I said, I better diversify a little bit, and start trying to sell some other products to our clientele.
Were you anticipating maybe wire being cut like in half?
Yeah. And luckily it wasn't, just from the simple standpoint that we kept growing. But yeah, Brilliance LED, actually, it's ironic that I'm wearing this hat, because Brilliance LED was the first company outside of our wire manufacturers that I reached out to. And I think we were the first person in the Florida, maybe even the first distribution company in the Southeast, that started selling Brilliance and selling LEDs. So that simply transpired into everything else that we do and that we distribute. But that's how I got into it. I bought a house, put the worst system in the history of time, and that's kind of like my origin story getting in.
That's pretty awesome, man. It's interesting because, like, landscape lighting, I feel like everyone's entry story is we're all different, but they're all similar in that it definitely wasn't part of the plan. It was kind of like, well, what's this? And then you get into it and you're like, we're going to love it,
Yeah. And that's what kept me going. The end result is what really kept me pushing forward, because lighting, when it's done right, it's magical. It's amazing. It can transform spaces. It can transform attitudes. It can transform daily habits. Like, maybe there's a part of your yard that no one ever uses because it's completely dark. Well, good lighting can take that space, and it can turn it into something beautiful and functional, and kind of change the way that you or your family spends time together. So again, when done correctly, it's just good for the soul. When done incorrectly, well, it can have the opposite effect.
Yeah,
it can be harsh. It can be irritating. But when done correctly, lighting is an amazing thing, and it's what has kept me going and interested in this industry.
What's interesting? When I moved to Texas to start my lighting company, of course, I had to start on my own house. So I buy the product, get it installed in the front of the house, and it was a small house. I mean, it was probably a total of like 15 lights, but it looked phenomenal. I mean, it was amazing. And these ladies, they were walking down the street and they're walking their dog or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, we love your house. We love your landscaping." And I'm like, "My landscaping? It's just like ugly red mulch that the builder put in. It's like the ugliest landscaping. It looks like yours, lady." But it was the lighting that really, made it magical. And I was so excited. I loved it so much that I just had grass in the backyard, and I didn't want to just like put spotlights out there. There was nothing to light. So I literally built like a cabana and a fire pit area with a patio just so I could have lighting. And it's like I spent $20,000 just to be able to do lighting, because I was transformed. And that was just like getting started. That was not for like a display or anything. I was literally like a sold customer at that point that was addicted to it.
It is. It's addicting, and I can't get it out of my system, just like you can't get it out of our system. I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about ways to be better and improve upon it. So it's just a magical industry with a lot of really great people in it, and it's a really tight community, a hardworking, dedicated community of honest people who look out for each other. It's just really great to be a part of, and invigorating every day. I love coming in on a daily basis and communicating with the people in our industry.
Well, tell us quickly about Lighting Boss. Like, what is it you do? Who do you serve? Who do you want to serve? What are you doing?
Well, Lighting Boss, we kind of simplify and we talk about the 3 Ds of Lighting Boss, which is product distribution, software design, and growth development. So first and foremost, we sell products, and that's how we support everything else that we do. So we've got a couple dozen lines with some amazing manufacturers, and we sell to a national client base, particularly people who specialize in landscape lighting or outdoor living. Our home base is in Florida, but we just opened a branch in Southwest Missouri. Then we also starting to do some fulfillment out of Southern California. So we can get like the core products, our core products, to about 98% of our client base in 3 days or less. The software, it's pretty damn cool, but it's mainly a labor of love. Like it I know you know about it. People listening probably don't. And we don't have time to get into it. But what it does is it allows contractors to create drawings and proposals at the same time. And they can do that from their iPad or Android tablet. So I did that because every conference I ever went to, and they talked about the software that people were using, everyone was using something different. Like there was nothing streamlined for the lighting industry. I'm like, well, maybe there's something to be had there. So we built something that's a bit more streamlined, that you can do while you're on site with the client. And this is something that you and I are really passionate about. It is getting that proposal or that estimate to someone while you are there on site, not leaving the job site, not emailing it over. It's giving them the price or their options right then and there, so that you can close the deal. And I simply use technology to make that a little faster and a little cooler.
And honestly, that's one of the things I love about it, because as you know, I'm a big fan of like, listen, having that mentality that people want to buy landscape lighting from you today. So why make them wait? And if you make them wait, there's a chance, or a really high chance, they're going to go with someone else who's just better at sales than you. And it shouldn't come down to that, but that's what happens. So when I first heard about it, I was like, no, I personally, I was like, no, I don't want another software, another something to go back to the office and prepare a proposal. Cause like that goes against that's what I teach my sales guys. It goes against my philosophy. But then when I found out that no, that's actually the reason, is to make it simple, make it quick. Then I'm like, okay, I'm sold. I'm all on board, because it is pretty freaking awesome when you can just go map out where the fixtures are going really quick, put the proposal together, get them to sign, get the payment, and go. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah. Then on top of that, just the bonus of having the drawing for maintenance later on down the road, because maintenance is a huge part of the lighting industry. And I don't know how many people listening really understand or appreciate that, is that you need an easy and efficient way to maintain these systems. This is not just a one-stop sale. You want to not only sell them on the front yard, but the side yard, the backyard. Like you said, their winter house in Florida, their summer house in Colorado, their neighbor's house, their parents' house. Like, you have to have ways to be efficient in maintaining and adding on to systems. And so few people create the proper documentation in order to do that, just because until recently, like, there hasn't been a good, fast way to do it. So we try to create a good, fast way to do all of that. And again, it's a labor of love. Same thing with the growth development portion of our business, which I've kind of taken and just like Ryan Lee, here's our growth development,
Right.
because he's saying what I'm thinking and what my team is thinking, and you actually have a set program, so that you can hold people accountable to it. And it's just a fantastic thing that you're doing.
Landscapelightingsecrets.com.
Perfect.
But I love that about you, because you're not just a distributor. You're not just like, okay, here we have product, give us money. Here's the product. Here's the exchange. You're thinking outside the box. You're expanding it. You're helping your client base out and adding that design element and adding that development element. So that makes you unique in and of itself. I love it.
Yeah, thanks. There are a lot of people out there who do what we do from a product standpoint, and there may be some people who do it just as well, who have a great support staff, who have ex-contractor. Like, we have 4 ex-contractors on staff helping our clients point them in the right direction, because they've been there. Like, they know what's wrong. So there may be other guys out there doing what we're doing from a product standpoint, but there's no one doing what we're doing from a software standpoint, and that the growth development relationship that we have with you, we haven't even talked about the monthly webinar that we do, but we just feel like it adds a ton of value to our clients, and they seem to like what we're offering and keep coming back, and we're so grateful and so humbled that we do, because we know there are a lot of choices out there. And boy, you had a really interesting comment on your Facebook group, Landscape Lighting Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said that when you asked what their biggest challenge was, they said that their supplier was currently their biggest challenge. And
Yeah.
I want to scream from a rooftop and say, there are plenty of other suppliers out there. You're not forced to buy just from someone just because they're within a couple miles from you.
Right. Exactly.
This is the 21st century. Like, we can buy from anywhere now. So that's what pushes us to be better and better every day, knowing that there's always someone out there who can take our place. And I couldn't believe that supply was this person's biggest issue when there's so many other options out there.
Oh, 100%. So, hey, listen, I'm a little disappointed because we have not heard any F-bombs, and I don't know that you're that fired up about the topic. So we're going to take a quick break. And then when I come back with Ryan Jaso, we're going to talk about something that is possibly destroying our industry. It's really hurting the lighting industry. So I've got to figure out which button to hit to go to commercial break. But stick around, you guys, because it's just going to be a quick break, and then we'll be right back. All right?
Hey, everybody. It's Brooke Ford, host of The Green Veteran here on Turf's Up Radio. Be sure to check me out every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. You're going to hear some great one-on-one interviews with green industry professionals. We're going to talk about best business practices, highlight innovative products, and also provide some insight into some new emerging technologies in the field. That's The Green Veteran, airing each Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And remember, Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Hey Turf's Up Radio fans, do you know what time it is? That's right, it's Turf's Up Radio time. Now you can hear the latest updates in green industry news, services and technology. Learn about new products all while enjoying the best music. If you don't believe me, then ask my good friend Alexa. Just say launch Turf's Up Radio.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
Hey, it's Simon. I just got one thing to ask. Can you dig it? I can dig it. You can dig it. She can dig it. We can dig it. They can dig it. Can you dig it? You can call when you get a chance. 617-992-4793. I can dig it. See you. Bye.
Welcome back to Light It Up here on Turf's Up Radio. It's 5:38 Eastern. I'm joined here live with Ryan Jaso, the lighting boss. Thanks again for coming on, man. I really appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And so we were talking before the break a little bit about yourself and stuff like that, but I want to get into kind of what your competitive advantage is and what you think some of those things are about the way you do business and stuff like that. So I guess I'll just introduce that topic. Like, what do you think is really kind of one of the things hindering our relation, or not our industry right now?
Well, do I only have 5 minutes to go over this? No, I think that's all I need. I just want to confirm.
Yeah, hey, it's my show. I can do what I want, So we got about, 9-10 minutes, and then I got to take another break.
Okay. Well, I want to get into the short version anyhow, because, my blood pressure is high right now, and I don't need to have a heart attack in front of the entire audience of 6 people that you got working. So,
there's 7.
Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to be cool, calm, and collected, which maybe isn't what you want to hear. Maybe you want to see some broken blood vessels in my face, but here's my biggest gripe about the industry right now, and I put out a email blast on Friday or Monday, and I talk about who's kind of the villain in our industry, and I use Mugatu from Zoolander as the poster boy, and what I didn't realize, I just think Mugatu's hilarious. I thought the picture was hilarious.
Oh, it was awesome. I'm like, man, this got me excited.
but Mugatu, people didn't realize that he was a villain, and that's why it worked out so. I mean, it just works out beautifully. People wanted the models. I can't believe we're talking about Zoolander, but the models wanted to work with Mugatu, not realizing, what a terrible person he was, not realizing that once they worked with him, they were going to die. Like they were going to come to a nasty death. So they were kind of, cutting off their nose despite their faces. And this is what I see from my biggest gripe is I see a bit of a commoditization and a cannibalization from mainly electrical houses, major electrical houses, and larger irrigation houses. And the reason I say that is because it seems to me like every person who walks in their door, they're trying to convince that person that they should be installing lighting. It doesn't matter whether that person is a homeowner, a irrigation contractor, an electrical contractor. It doesn't matter who that person is. They simply seem to be of the mindset that the more customers, the better. And you and I have talked about this. That is not always the case. More customers is not always better. So you go into one of these shops, they convince you, if you're a homeowner who doesn't know anything about lighting, they convince you that it's easy, you should do it themselves, meaning they'll never get a great result. Like I didn't. I got a horrible result at my house. Or they convince an electrical or an irrigation contractor that, again, it's easy, never really fully giving them the support or guidance that's needed to do it correctly. Then you end up with a bunch of competitors all doing crappy work and driving down profits for everyone. So that there's so much value in a referral relationship, and that just seems to be getting lost because so many people are getting into lighting now. And I love that so many people are getting into lighting. That's great. We want the word to spread about good lighting. But the simple fact is that if you can't all be the best. So if you can't, or more importantly, if you aren't willing to try, then let's focus on referring people that are the best. So I just hate the fact that contractors are out there supporting suppliers that are constantly recruiting their competition and constantly putting crappy lighting jobs out there. And that's where the commoditization, the cannibalization, all of that comes from. And it's just that one thing that I'm really fired up on in the industry. And man, I kind of got through that without any F-bombs. That was amazing. That's my biggest bugaboo right now, people. So many people think that it's that company with a V that's selling to everyone on the internet. Well, listen, they're always going to be those companies who sell on the internet. But the fact that people are actively recruiting your competition and professional contractors are supporting that, which simply is driving down their own market, I can't understand, and I don't think I'll ever understand because I don't think they know. They don't realize what's happening. Kind of like the models in Zoolander didn't realize that if you go to work for Mugatu, you're gonna die.
Can I tell you where I agree and where I disagree?
No.
Okay. Let's wrap it up. It's another episode of Line It Up. So here's what
I'm listening.
Inside of Landscape Lighting Secrets, I'm a huge fan of the referral segment that you talked about. And I actually coach on here's how to build your own referral partner program and go out and partner with landscapers, electricians, all these people who are like, man, I see that guy, he's got a really nice truck. I want to start a landscape lighting business. And sometimes people are like, you know what? No, we're going to do it ourselves. And I actually try hard at that point to be like, no, you do not want to do this yourself. And here's why. What are you going to do for maintenance? What are you going to do for this? What are you going to do for that? And I've got a series of things that we go through. And so I'm with you there because I think in most cases, it's much more beneficial for someone to just refer someone who's better at what they do. They have a system, they have the business, everything else. Because if not, it actually sabotages their own business. Because if you can't go and replace a light bulb or whatever, it's just something simple for 2-3 weeks, you've just now destroyed a relationship over a stupid light bulb, right? But here's where I disagree with you also at the same time. And I'm disagreeing with myself at the same time because I'm for that. But then I also feel like there are a lot of guys out there, landscapers, Christmas light guys, electricians, whoever it is, who they're coming. Like they're coming into the industry. You could try to keep them out, whatever, but they're coming. And they really are just like me. I wasn't in the landscape lighting industry. I didn't have any experience. So how did I get good at it? Well, it was by bettering myself and getting education, stuff like that. So inside my program, I also have like, hey, let me help you be the best you can be at landscape lighting so that we don't go down that road of just getting crappy designs, crappy fixtures, crappy maintenance, crappy service, all that stuff. So I totally am with you on one side, but then I also feel like it's not an all or nothing thing. I feel like there is a certain segment where it's like, no, you do not want to start a lighting business. You don't even want to buy a freaking light fixture. Go partner with this company. They're right around the corner from you. You guys are going to do some amazing things together. But then I do think there is a segment that we need to kind of nurture and actually help build up.
Yeah, so that was going to be the last thing that I touched on is kind of like final pieces of advice. And it's exactly what you just said. If for whatever reason, like you want to get into the industry, but you can't find a good referral relationship, or you're not in a position to even set up a referral relationship because you got nothing. Like there's nothing that you're not in irrigation, you're not in landscape, you're not in interior design, you're not an architect. There's nothing you have. You're just starting a new business out of nothing. So the last kind of piece of advice that I have is that if you can't create this referral relationship that I just talked about, then spend the time and the money to be the best. Dedicate yourself to it. You got to understand that lighting isn't just putting some lights in the ground under the trees. There's so much more to it. And you really need to hire someone like Ryan or join, and join a couple of organizations. Get with other suppliers who are going to actually support you, and become the best. Dedicate yourself to it. If you're going to get into lighting, do not half-ass it. That's all. I think that's all I'm saying. Don't half-ass it.
I like your message. I like your style. I did forget to mention that you are now on the board of AOLP. Is that right?
I am. I'm on the board. I'm active in ILI as well. Those are two phenomenal organizations that I definitely recommend people join. Websites, I think AOLPonline.org and ILLIEDU.org. Two great organizations. You can learn a lot about lighting from them.
Okay, cool. Well, man, the time I told you it'd go by fast. It went by super quick. We could go for hours and hours and hours, but I do got to take my other break. So thanks so much for coming on. Is there anything else before we go to break that you want to, leave our listeners and viewers with?
Yeah. Tune into my monthly webinar, or our monthly webinar with Ryan Lee, Landscape Lighting Secrets. And visit my website for more information, lighting-boss.com.
Awesome, man. Well, like I said, you're the inaugural guest here, so I appreciate you being the guinea pig, and I don't think you could have done any better. So thanks so much. You did a great job.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me. And thank you, Turfs Up Radio. I'm going to tune in more often.
Absolutely. You guys actually download the app, Turfs Up Radio. It makes it super easy. You just click the button, and then all of a sudden you're listening to it. And then you get to listen to me every Tuesday at 5. And I got to give a shout out real quick before I go to break to my other homies on here, because these guys are awesome. These are other business owners. They're other consultants. They've got really, really good stuff. So if you don't like what I have to say, they're going to tell you the same thing, just in a different message, different voice. And if you like them better, that's great, because we're all trying to get you to the same place. So thanks again, guys. And we're going to be just right back after just a couple minutes. This is the debut for the Motel Pines. We're going to listen to their whole song called Myths Disguised as Meaning. Oops. My bad.
about the way that we behave. We are always fully particle, always fully wave. I can't say with certainty there's not a demon here at play. Whether you exist or you're a phantom limb, refusing to decay. And waiting we live our lives, but we are all condemned to die, and that's our only certainty. There is no sin in the human condition. We are not flawed, we are not incomplete. There's no curse in our existence, just myths disguised as meaning. Sometimes I wonder just how much beast we're willing to embrace. Our repugnance is so telling, but I still struggle with why we're so ashamed. Is there any sense in denying that it's less symptom than disease? I'm not asking for forgiveness, and I'm not looking for release. Such impressive intellect, such utter disconnect between us and who we want to be. There is no sin in the human condition. We are not flawed, we are not incomplete. There's no curse in our existence, just myths disguised as meaning. From my heart I hope and pray, I guess you can call that faith. But it's never really mattered much if God had a human face. And you'll pardon me if I won't define what I can't comprehend. I'm just not sure how much good can come from trying so hard to pretend. There was a time I wanted truth, but that was way back in my youth. Now I'm content with absurdity.
Hey, this is Jeff Hester, senior contributor and co-host of the Weekend Review here on Turfs Up Radio. Can't make it to major green industry events, but want to stay connected? Don't worry, we have you covered. Be sure to download the Turfs Up Radio app or visit our website. We'll bring you the live coverage you need to keep you up to date with everything that happens in our industry. And to find out where we'll be next, simply visit greenindustryevents.com. That's greenindustryevents.com. And always remember, Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Attention all veterans. Have you heard about Turfs Up Radio's Jobs for Vets program? If you are looking for a job and you're interested in working in the landscape and snow removal profession, there just might be a company in your local area that is looking to hire. All you have to do is send us your resume at jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. That's jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Light It Up. Welcome back to Light It Up here on Turfs Up Radio. In case you missed it, we just had the lighting boss, Ryan Jaso, on with us. Great conversation. And, I'm grateful that he was on because he was my debut guest here. So someone's always got to be the first. I remember selling landscape lighting for my very first time. I was like, man, I wonder if these guys, if they knew that they were the first ones. Do you remember your first client? Kind of a scary thing. So, oh man, you guys, I am grateful to be in this position. Just thrilled with the opportunity that I have time, and I've got the ability to be part of this lighting community. As I mentioned before, if you're looking for some free avenues to get involved with landscape lighting, check out our monthly webinar that Jaso and I are doing. Just follow me on Facebook to see the next date for that. Also, Landscape Lighting Mastermind is a free Facebook group that you can join. And then, of course, on YouTube at Landscape Lighting Secrets. Guys, before I wrap up the show today, I want to give you my lighting tip of the week. And, my lighting tip of the week, we'll have to see. I mean, for me, it's always about business, But if you guys want to know more about design, you want to know more about install, that's fine too. Let me know when it comes to this type of stuff. But I'm excited. I've got a bunch of guests already lined up from the lighting industry, from manufacturers to really, really talented designers, really talented technicians. So we're going to get a perspective that's all over the place. I mean, I feel like I've got my strengths, and I'm always talking about those, but I want to bring in other people's input. I want to get their ideology. I may not agree with everything, but I still want to hear it. I want you to hear it. I want you to be a part of it so that you can make your own decision, and you can align with those people that are going to help you get to where you want to be, help you get to where you probably should already be. Okay. So my lighting tip of the week is the GMB. I talk about the GMB. It's the Google My Business. It's a 3-pack. And basically what that is when people search for you, you want to be shown in that 3-pack. And there's a lot of different things you can do to optimize it, but you really need to focus on this. If this hasn't been a major focus in your business ever, you need to do this because it's free leads right now that Google is giving out. Go and create that listing. And if you've already got it created, go in and optimize it. Go in and update it. Make sure landscape lighting, outdoor lighting, all those terms are in there. Optimize it. Put in the cities. Sometimes people only have the one city. Okay. If they're in Utah, they'll put Salt Lake City, Utah. But there's 20 cities you can put in. So you can put in Sandy and Midvale and Murray and Lehigh and all the 20 cities that you work in, right? Put those in because that's one of the ways that Google verifies that they're going to show someone that's actually relevant to what they're looking for, right? So they go off of time, like how long have you been in business? Okay, they look at those things, but they also look at location, how close you are to the person searching. They look at reviews. Okay, a lot of people don't have a lot of reviews. There's some people that have been in business 5, 10, 15, 20 years and have less than 10 reviews. So you need to make this a priority in your business. Even if you're already the best lighting designer, the best installer, if people don't know about you, it's going to be very, very hard to continue to grow and to continue to scale. And unfortunately, if you don't master the game of marketing and sales, then you're doing a disservice to your clients because they're now being sold some inferior lighting system by somebody else that they found online. So take the time to work on your business. Okay, 1 hour a week, start somewhere and go and optimize this Google My Business profile. Get more reviews. There's automation software out there. There's services. I still offer it, but I don't really want to try to promote it. But there's companies out there that will help you automate the gathering of reviews. It makes it real easy for your clients to leave the reviews. It's not complicated. It's not annoying, and it makes it easy to skyrocket your reviews. So if that's been a challenge of yours, spend some time on it. They also look at the SEO of your website. So you want to make sure, even if your business is primarily word of mouth and referral, listen, guys, I hate to tell you, but not everybody just calls you directly. Sometimes you'll get a referral and they'll go and Google you. And if they're not finding you, or if they're finding you and you only have 1 5-star review from your mother, that doesn't look good. Okay. And chances are they're bypassing that. They're calling somebody else because they're like, oh, I expected them to be better than this. I expected them to have more reviews, be more reputable. And so a lot of times we're missing out on leads and opportunities that we don't even know about. So highly recommend making that a priority in your business, focusing on the Google My Business. And if you have any questions, if you have any topics, if you have any topics that you want to know about, or if you even want to be a guest right here on Light It Up, which is changing to Lighting for Profits, changing to Lighting for Profits next week, shoot me an email, support@ryanleecoaching.com. Shoot me an email. And again, I'm also looking for more musicians. I want to thank Ryan Jaso for being part of the show today. I want to thank Motel Pines for letting me use their music. And it appears that I did not get shut down. So thank you. But yeah, if you guys want to get in touch with me, it's support@ryanleecoaching.com. And guys, I've had a blast. It went by quick. So make sure to stick around. and be here every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be doing the show. Remember, next week it does change to Lighting for Profits. So I'll let you know. I'll be publishing it on Facebook, the new graphic, and the new intro is going to be exciting. You'll be able to hear that next week. It's very close to the one I've got now, but it's called Lighting for Profits. Guys, my name's Ryan Lee. I'm the host here. I'll see you guys next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. You guys have an awesome day. We'll see ya. Now we just got to remember to turn this thing off before the next thing comes on. See you guys.